Anakin stood in the council chamber, breathing hard as Mace Windu raised his blade against Palpatine. In this timeline, the future changed in a single second. Palpatine begged for help, but Anakin finally saw the trap. The Chancellor was not a savior. He was the fire behind every fear, every lie, every war. Instead of striking Windu, Anakin turned and drove his lightsaber toward Sidious. Purple lightning exploded across the room. Windows shattered. Windu attacked again. And together, the two Jedi forced the Sith Lord back. Sidious escaped into the city, wounded but alive, his plan broken, his anger unleashed. Then came the Order. Across the galaxy, clone troopers received the same command, Order 66. At the Jedi Temple, Anakin felt the deaths through the Force like knives in his chest. He ran, not toward Palpatine, but toward the one person he trusted outside the council. Ahsoka Tano. She sensed the chaos before he arrived. She expected a fight. Instead, she found Anakin shaken, desperate, and finally honest. He told her everything: Palpatine, Padme, the fear of loss, the promise of dark power. For one long moment, Ahsoka said nothing. Then she clipped on her sabers and said, "If you are still fighting, then move." They cut through Coruscant's underworld while clone patrols sealed the streets. Rex reached them in secret, resisting the chip long enough to warn them that the temple had fallen. There would be no rescue, no safe return, only escape. At the Senate District hangar, gunships closed in from every side. Blaster fire tore through the smoke. Anakin held the line while Ahsoka powered up a transport. He leaped aboard at the last second, and the ship blasted into the night sky. Anakin and Ahsoka jumped through hyperspace with no plan and no home. Behind them, Coruscant disappeared into cold stars. Ahead of them waited a galaxy that no longer belonged to the Jedi. By dawn, Palpatine had reshaped the Republic into the Empire. He blamed the Jedi for treason, named Anakin Skywalker a fallen war hero, and spread his face across every holonet channel as a wanted criminal. To the public, the story was simple. The Jedi had tried to seize power, the Empire had restored peace, and now the survivors had to be hunted down. Ahsoka knew what that meant. They could not trust old allies, old codes, or old escape routes. Clone troopers guarded spaceports, scanned refugee ships, and followed whispers from one outer rim world to the next. Every time Anakin reached into the Force, he felt fear, death, and Sidious searching back. They landed first on Rada, hiding among farmers and wrecked machinery. It lasted 2 days. Then an Imperial probe droid swept over the fields. They fled before sunrise. Next came Nar Shaddaa, then a drifting cargo station near Saleucami, always moving, never sleeping twice in the same place. On the third week, Rex found them through a chain of broken military signals. He was tired, hunted, and half ashamed of what the clones had done. He brought stolen codes, supply routes, and one hard truth. Inquisitors were coming, not soldiers, hunters. Ahsoka wanted to stay hidden. Anakin wanted to strike back before the Empire grew stronger. That argument burned between them like an open wound. But when Rex revealed that Force-sensitive children were already being tracked, the choice changed. This was no longer about survival alone. If they kept running, children would die in silence. As the ship drifted above a moon, Anakin felt danger near. Somewhere in the darkness, the Empire had found their trail. And this time, it was not sending clones. Ahsoka and Anakin dropped their ship inside the broken rings of an old mining station. Far from major lanes, the Empire signal net was weak there, but tension inside the crew only grew stronger. Rex studied stolen files. Ahsoka watched the stars. Anakin stared at the dark, thinking of Coruscant, of Padme, of every Jedi death he had felt through the Force. He wanted to hit back now. He spoke of striking supply worlds, freeing prisoners, even hunting Sidious himself before the Empire could finish building its chains. In his mind, revenge looked like justice. Ahsoka saw the danger at once. This was the same fire Palpatine had fed for years, only now it wore the face of grief. She stopped him in the station's silent training hall. "If you fight this war for hate," she said, "then he still wins." Anakin argued that the Jedi Order was gone. The temple had fallen. The council had failed. There was nothing left to rebuild. Ahsoka stepped closer and told him that the old order was not the same as the Force. The Jedi did not need stone towers, blind rules, or frightened masters. They needed people willing to protect others without becoming monsters. Rex then delivered the proof. Imperial scouts had marked several Force-sensitive children across the Outer Rim. Sidious was gathering them in secret. Some would be broken into servants, others would simply disappear. That changed everything. Anakin finally understood that revenge would only feed the past, but saving those children could shape the future. If the Jedi were ever to live again, they would have to begin in exile, in secret, and by choice. So Master and Apprentice made a vow in the dark. They would not restore the old Jedi Order, they would build something new at last. Then Rex opened one final stolen report. The Empire had already found its first child target. At first light, their stolen transport dropped out of hyperspace above a dusty moon in the mid-rim. Imperial signals crowded the orbit. A prison shuttle was preparing to leave the surface, carrying a child the Empire had marked as Force-sensitive. If that shuttle escaped, more would follow. This was the first test of the Jedi Order Anakin and Ahsoka wanted to build. Rex led the approach through an old smuggler canyon while Ahsoka slipped into the outpost from above. Anakin moved through the main gate like a storm, drawing troopers away from the holding cells. The fight was fast and brutal. Blaster fire cut through the dust. Sirens screamed across the rocks. For the first time since Order 66, Anakin was not fighting for the Republic or for revenge. He was fighting to save a future. Inside the prison block, Ahsoka found not one child, but three. A Mirialan girl, a human boy, and a trembling infant hidden from scanners by a terrified mother. The Empire had lied in its reports. This was already bigger than they feared. When the prison shuttle lifted off, Anakin made his choice. He leaped onto the rising craft, tore through the hatch, and disabled it from within. The shuttle crashed hard beyond the canyon wall, but the children survived. So did the trooper commander leading the mission. His final message reached Coruscant before Rex could jam it. Skywalker lives. By nightfall, word spread through the hidden Imperial network. Sidious did not send clones this time. He began shaping a darker answer, one built to hunt Jedi, break children, and destroy hope itself. And as Ahsoka looked at the rescued younglings aboard their ship, she realized they had just started a war they could no longer hide from. The hunter was rising nearby. Far above the stars, Palpatine did not rage. He smiled, because now he knew exactly who to send next. In the shadow of a dead moon, Anakin and Ahsoka found an abandoned listening post and turned it into a refuge. It was small, cold, and damaged, but it was hidden. For the rescued children, it became the first safe place they had ever known. For Anakin, it became something even stranger, a chance to build the Jedi Order the old one never allowed. Ahsoka set the first rule. No one would be told to kill fear by pretending it did not exist. The children were allowed to miss their families. They were allowed to cry. They were allowed to love. Anakin, who had spent years hiding every attachment in shame, understood at once why that mattered. He taught lightsaber forms as discipline, not pride. Ahsoka taught movement, patience, and how to survive when the galaxy turned cruel. Rex trained them to think like soldiers without becoming trapped by war. Together, they built a different kind of order, one rooted in loyalty, honesty, and the hard truth that pain did not make someone weak, but peace did not erase the scars. At night, the youngest children woke screaming from dreams of blasters and burning temples. Anakin often stood outside their quarters, hearing echoes of the temple massacre and the life he almost chose. Ahsoka saw it in his eyes. He was building hope, but he was still carrying ruin. Then came the harder choice. Refugees started arriving, smugglers, former Jedi allies, clone deserters, even families willing to hide Force-sensitive children. Their refuge was becoming a movement, and movements drew attention. One evening, as new ships entered the canyon below, Ahsoka felt a familiar presence through the Force. Old, wounded, and filled with warning. Obi-Wan Kenobi had found them, and he did not come to celebrate their hope. Obi-Wan looked at the children, then at Anakin. For a moment he said nothing, then his face hardened. Because he had not come only to help, he had come to warn them. Obi-Wan arrived at dusk, hooded and worn, as if the war had aged him 20 years in a single month. The children watched from the upper walkways while Rex reached for his blaster and Ahsoka stepped between them. Anakin did not move. He only stared at the man who had once been his brother. For one long moment, neither spoke. Then Obi-Wan looked around the hidden refuge, the younglings, the deserters, the families, the crude training room built from scrap and said the words no one wanted to hear. This can still fall apart because of you, Anakin. The warning cut deeper than any blade. Obi-Wan had survived the purge, seen the temple in ruins, and followed whispers of Skywalker through burned worlds and shattered safe houses. He knew Anakin had turned on Sidious in the Chancellor's office. He also knew how close that same fear had come to destroying everything. Ahsoka defended him at once, but Obi-Wan pressed harder. Anakin was powerful, wounded, and surrounded by people who already believed in him. That was how empires began. If he ruled this new order through love twisted into fear, then Sidious would not need Vader. He would have something worse, a fallen savior. Anakin nearly snapped. Every old wound rose at once: the Council's mistrust, the Temple's failure, the endless fear of losing Padme. But when one of the rescued children stepped forward and took his hand, the anger broke. He saw what Obi-Wan meant. This was not about power. It was about responsibility. So the two men spoke through the night, about the Jedi, about failure, about what must never return. By dawn, Obi-Wan offered one final truth. Padme was alive, hidden, and close to giving birth. And the moment Anakin heard that, the Force shifted, because Sidious had felt it too. Somewhere across the stars, Palpatine turned toward that tremor in the Force. He knew the children were coming, and now, for the first time, he knew exactly whose bloodline would shape the war ahead. After Obi-Wan's warning, Anakin left at once. Ahsoka and Rex followed him through hidden lanes to the remote medical shelter where Padme was waiting under guard. The reunion was not calm or perfect. It was raw, frightened, and filled with all the words that war had stolen. But Padme saw the truth in Anakin's face. He had stepped away from the darkness, and now the galaxy was hunting him for it. When the twins were born, everything changed. Luke arrived first, crying into a world already at war. Leia followed seconds later, silent at first, then fierce enough to make the room laugh through tears. Even Obi-Wan, burdened by grief, felt hope return. These children were not just Anakin's legacy. They were proof that the future had not yet been claimed by Sidious. Ahsoka understood that better than anyone. She told the others the new order could not be built only around survivors, hideouts, and rescue missions. It needed a reason to endure. Luke and Leia became that reason. Around them, the younglings trained harder, the refugees stood taller, and even the clone deserters began to believe they were protecting more than a hidden base. Anakin changed as well. He was still powerful, still haunted, but now his strength had a center stronger than anger. He did not want to rule. He wanted his children to grow up in a galaxy that had never known fear as law. Padme then made the next move. Using old Senate contacts, she reached out to worlds already doubting Imperial rule. Quiet aid began to flow in. Food, codes, medicine, and safe routes. What had been a refuge started becoming a movement. And far away, Sidious felt that change in the Force and turned his hunters toward the hidden family at last that night. Across the stars, Imperial ships began to change course. The twins had become the heart of a new future, and now the Empire was coming to crush it before it could rise. The Empire came with everything it had. Star destroyers closed around the hidden refuge, probe ships swept the moon, and Inquisitors descended from the dark. But this time, Anakin and Ahsoka were ready. What began as a shelter was now a network. Refugees became fighters, clone deserters became commanders, smugglers became scouts, and across nearby systems, worlds aided by Padme finally rose in open defiance. Rex led the ground defense while Ahsoka guided younglings and families through hidden escape tunnels. Obi-Wan coordinated stolen frigates gathering beyond the moon. Then Anakin launched the strike that changed the war. He did not charge in alone. He led beside Ahsoka, not above her. And together they cut through Imperial lines with purpose instead of rage. Their target was Palpatine's command ship. Inside its iron halls, Sidious waited. He mocked Anakin's new order, calling it weak because it was built on love. But Anakin no longer feared that word. He had learned what the old Jedi never did. Love was not the path to ruin. Fear was. Control was. The battle exploded in lightning and flame. Ahsoka held back the Emperor's guards while Anakin faced Sidious at last. Every old weakness returned Padme, the twins, the terror of losing everything. But this time he did not stand alone. Through the Force, he felt Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Padme, Luke, Leia, and every life depending on them. Sidious struck harder. Anakin endured. Then, with Ahsoka at his side, he turned the Emperor's power back on itself. Palpatine fell. Above the moon, Imperial command broke apart. Ships surrendered, fled, or burned. Across the galaxy, rebellions ignited like stars. The Empire shattered in a single day, but peace would take far longer to build. Still, for the first time, the future belonged to the people, not the Sith at last. The war was over, but the healing had only begun. And as Luke and Leia slept beneath a free sky, Anakin and Ahsoka looked toward the dawn, knowing the new Jedi Order would rise from everything the old one had lost.